and I was the first person on campus actually that had a one wheel. So on our group rides, they just keep stealing the board from me, screwing around with it until eventually boosted went under. And like everyone had boosted boards. There was like 15 boosted boards on a ride and like 2 one wheels or something like that. Eventually boosted boards went under, and everyone that had a boosted board just slowly started converting over to one wheel. It's more and more of those guys, and some of the sendier guys that are just way more natural on a board started getting one wheels, and Henry, Josh, and so I'd start having people that are like way more skilled than me doing some gnarly shit on a one wheel. I just constantly follow them, and if you're constantly following dudes like that, like you're going to get better no matter what. So more and more I had to do higher speeds, bigger drops, start trail riding, and slowly that evolved into just the whole racing scene. And after I attended that first race, and you get to actually chase down like legit pros. That was Dirt Surfers.
Okay.
That I did a bunch of rides with Mad Max.
Max Achino.
Just chasing them down the trails and like really seeing what these boards are capable of. And it feels like every year people are pushing these boards to more and more limits. So it's been kind of wild watching myself transition. It all started like just getting into college. I moved out. I lived up by like Toledo, Perrysburg, Ohio, but ended up coming down to University of Cincinnati for college. And that first fall that I came onto campus, it was fall 2018. That was right when those rental scooters started popping up everywhere, right? Like Bird started becoming a thing, Lime started becoming a thing. They just dumped them all over campus. And my classes were all the way at the top of this hill, and my dorms were all the way at the bottom. And I absolutely hated walking there all the time. So I ended up starting to use those rental scooters because why the hell not? Well, why the hell not was that money adds up very fast because it's not that much of a distance, but every time you activate that, it's like $1 just to start it.
Oh my God.
So if you're doing multiple short rides, that adds up so fast. So eventually I was like, I just need to get something for myself that I can just keep in my dorm,
your beer
whatever.
money, bro.
Yeah, right? I ended up getting an electric skateboard. It was called like a Riptide. It was just a little, and they eventually went bankrupt or something like that. But just a little like electric.
Not boosted?
No. It was like they were trying to be competitor boosted, kind of doing their own thing. The Boosted Mini is a really fun board, but it doesn't really have too much of a kicktail or anything like that. This was very much like a cruiser board.
Gotcha.
A really high kicktail. You could even ollie it if you wanted to. I'm surprised, like all of these years of riding, like I mean, I've seen shit so many times, but I have not really injured myself. Back when I e-skated, super early on when I was still learning, there's some point where I hit a pothole or something, bailed the wrong way, and I got like a stress fracture in my foot. But it literally made it so walking hurt like hell.
But so riding was fine?
Riding was totally fine. So because of my riding injury, I had to ride to get anywhere.
That's awesome.
But ever since I moved to one wheel, like I've had like, scrapes, bruises, road rash, whatever.
That's pretty typical, I feel like.
I think at Dirt Surfers, that super gnarly slam that I took, I was totally convinced I injured myself. I don't remember exactly what's going on. All I know is my arm kept switching from like totally like in sharp pain to being completely numb, and like all my joints were just like shaking. I literally have GoPro footage of like after the race, I like pull out my phone and go to type something in my hands. Like I can barely type because my hands just
like a
shaking.
pinched nerve or something.
That's exactly. I thought I was injured. Next day, woke up totally fine. I think I pinched a nerve that's like connected to my funny bone.
If they get in the wrong
I never
spot.
had that happen to me before. So I'm in university still, obviously, in the way my university works. You switch between a co-op semester, which is basically like a paid internship, and then a class semester. So you're constantly switching until you get out with like 2 years of work experience. You graduate in 5 years instead of 4, with no summer breaks.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of a
I was going to ask, I'm like, how are you affording all these events? Prostitution, drug dealing, all of the above? Only Nico?
Yeah, only Nico, of course. No, I'm definitely... I'm in a all right position right now, just because I know I have a job pretty much lined up out of college, so I'll be good.
Drain your life savings towards one wheel.
I mean, and at this point, I'm basically staying even. Like, as I get more things, I just sell my old stuff and whatnot.
It's a constant marketplace. Come to next up is the Nico marketplace.
Yeah, and it's the trips that mostly are the big money hit, not the one wheels, because the traveling, gas prices, traveling gets more and more expensive. I can go to less and less events.
Do you typically drive to the events, or do you fly and ship?
I've never flown to an event before. Everything I've done has been on the East Coast. I wanted so bad to go to Seek and Shred Fest. Like, the vibes of that event is
it's like a straight music festival, right?
Basically, yeah. It just looks so much fun. Like, I really love racing, but having that sort of blend and balance seems really cool.
When Kyle's video came out.
Oh, yeah,
like,
that was something.
Good try, bud. You maybe should have cleared that with the marketing department.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, poor bastard.
So, and did you had a slight run into him with them, didn't you? With the they wouldn't do some work on your board or something like that.
There was a whole. I don't try to get into it now because it's a really deep rabbit hole.
Yeah, resolved-ish.
I wouldn't call it resolved. The main issue that I had was I had a motor that I had shipped out for reasons, and it got lost in shipping. And like, this actually happened. I wasn't trying to make up some story to gotcha FM. My motor got lost in shipping, so I emailed them like asking, what can I do? Is there any way you can ship me out a motor? Even if you want me to ship my board out to you and you just throw a motor in, but there's they had no options for service with, and obviously
they can't work on it without the original parts.
I mean, they can, they just don't want to.
Well, they say something about like against a warranty or whatever it is, like they won't work on a board.
They refuse to work on a board that doesn't have all of its original like core components, so controller, battery.
Yeah, that's what they told me when I thought it was my motor issue. It was like, oh, we see you have a third-party tire. Can you take that off and put the stock tire back on? Before we ship it out or whatever it is.